Dear everyone, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day. How are you? Wherever you are, whenever you are. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. I will greet you with good wishes for the new year, and I wish you happy new year, peaceful, safe, stable new year, not like last year, which have seen many problems affecting us at that time. And I wish you that you and your family enjoy this stable, safe life this year. Today will be my first talk about the new year and my first talk with you as young people. Whenever we start anything new, we have to build a program for it. And to build a program, we have to put questions to strategize our program. And today is about the new year, the young people, and the program. The meaning of the word new is something have not been seen before, have not been heard about it before, have not been done before, have not been eaten before, have not been worn before, all these kind of things. But to have new thing at home, we have to prepare ourselves for that. Whether this new thing is a day or a month or a year, a job or mission or profession, a residency, an area that we're going to live in, or neighborhood, traveling, migration, immigration, theology, doctrine, belief, history, culture, evidence, art, literature, poetry, dress, drink, as well as food, science, technology, information, invocation, inspiration, all these kind of things. If it's new, we have to prepare ourselves to receive it and to deal with it. I was going to discuss with you 11 points about making our own program in the new year. We cannot afford to live in the new year without having a program. The 11 points are: number one, let us to answer these 11 points. First of all, or first question, or first point, does the new year have philosophy, value, morality, culture, presence, time, future, and history? Yes, it does, and more. Yes, it does, and more. But to have something like this in the new year, we have to look at somebody who has the quality of ijtihad, which is to be strenuous, to be assiduous, or to have perseverance, and tajdeed, which is the way to have renewable ability, regeneration ability, and reforming ability. No one of us will discuss these 5 or 6 points which I mentioned without having this quality of being ijtihad, mujaddid, or mujtahid. Mujaddid or mujtahid. Because such individuals have the power and they have the ability and they have the vision to drive our direction, or to pave our direction, and to create our direction and create the policy and the procedure for our life in this area. Okay, so mujaddid and mujtahid, ijtihad and tajdeed. Who are they? Such people. There's some criteria about them. Number one of the criteria, they should be the people who have the knowledge, that they have been approved by society for years. Knowledge science, experience, wisdom, celibacy, as well as social asceticism and moral transparency and social asceticism. Also, they should be aware of the diverse culture, tradition, political dimensions, diverse composition of different ethnic groups, historical achievement, religious freedom, economical independence, and others. These are the criteria of anyone who is claiming to be mujtahid, assiduous, or mujaddid, reformer. Without this criteria, don't listen to them. Why? Because such government, corrupt government, or such system and regime, as you can see nowadays, impose on us certain individual who has no quality. They are like mobs. They are nonsense people. And they wanted them to plant the seeds of corruption in our society, like a seed. Such a seed will grow a corruption tree to destroy our society, to dismantle our society, to change the social fabric of our society. And we call it, as the Prophet ﷺ said, is الرويبضات. الرويبضة is the ignorant individual who know nothing and is leading the community from front. And they are sidelining all this assiduous, perseverant individual or learned, knowledgeable individual, and they don't let them to have such a platform to stand on it. Be careful. The second group. Don't listen to them. Confront them, push them back, and bring your mujtahid and your mujaddid, which have been known by the society for years and years and years and years. This is number one challenge for making your own program in the new year. The second challenge, which is the second question, does the new year have a glamour, have a glaring effect, have motivation, have optimism, have vitality, have determination, have presence, and have determination, and have visions and messages? Yes, it does have. I forgot to mention in the first one, which I forgot to mention, you have to know as an individual, young man and young woman, that at every society we have to realize that we have a present time that we live in, and you need to look for the future to create the history. So for you, every one of you should know the reality of the present time to enable him and her to draw the horizons of future to come, for generation to come. Then this kind of reality for future become history later on. This in the first point. The second point, does the new year has this glamour, glaring, optimism, vitality, determination, aims and objective, vision and message? Yes, it has. And you should make it happening. You should not let yourself not think about this. Optimism, vitality, determination, objectives, vision, message, and glamoring impact. And it has more than that. More than that, more than that. But we have to see ourselves inside the society and see this glaring effect with our determined eyes. Who is trying to see how can we achieve our objectives that we would like to fulfill and implement for generations to come. We have to see it ourselves with determination. We have to learn from our mistakes that delayed our journey and don't live inside our failures. Finish, gone is gone. Change the page. And also, we do not have to live through the success story or achievement. It's gone as well. Carry on. We have to live the real life, whether after failure or after actually achieving your potentials. And we have to see another time how can we change this kind of vitality, positivism, uh, optimism, glaring, feeling, okay? And how can use it to change it to a positive energy. Positive energy enabling us to coexist with the surrounding, to be founding for the foundation of our societies, to be building for the future civilization of generation to come. Let us grasp this opportunity of optimism, positivism, to try to achieve the goals and objectives of the future generation and enable them to build civilization to come. Not only for our society, but for humanity. This is point number two. Point number three, in making your own program in the new year, we have to look at the different lives inside the life of the society. Every society has a major life for all of us, then have smaller lives. And each life in the society represents the needs of each individual. Suppose that you have 1 million people in your society. The greater life of the society is the all-conclusive or all-inclusive of the 1 million lives. But we have to accommodate and understand and connect these 1 million lives, different lives together. You are at home with your family, with your children, with your wife. You have got 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or 6, or 7 children. Each one of them look at his own or her own life differently. And you and your wife look collectively how to maintain the life of the family. So you have to understand how to connect the 5 or 6 or 7 lives of the children to be a part of the greater life of the family. For you as a social worker, for you as a community leader, for you as a reformer or renewer or innovative individual, you have to understand the mechanics of the millions of lives in society and let all of them to go to one direction to create the bigger impact of the greater life and the vitality of your own society. It's not easy. It's very difficult. It's extremely difficult to connect these small lives together to make the mosaic, of the greater life of the society. This is number three. Then let us talk about point number four or question number four. When you make a program for New Year in your society, which is the different kind of education for your children. You would love to see your children being educated differently. How? And why I'm just talking about or singling out education as a part of this process of building the program. Because education is the lifeline of any society. The educated nation or community or society is always leading the ignorant nation, society, and community, and the uneducated nation or the uneducated, ignorant community is always led by others. They will never become leader. They always follower. They will never leave any impact behind, and they will be bypassed all the time by different society, different nation, and different communities. Knowledge and science and education is a second incubator after family, in bringing up and building up what? Community public awareness. With knowledge, with education, we'll find all the social ills, all the social ills, including government corruption, extremism, radicalism, terrorism, crimes, organized crimes, dictatorship, immorality, and others in the society. And we find all the impact and the illnesses or the symptoms of ignorance. Because ignorance is a disease as well. With knowledge, education, you treat ignorance. What are the different kind of education that we want for our children? This is my dream. I'm just speaking to you about my dream, which I've been talking about it long time ago. Number one, state education, kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, university, higher degree, and parallel education. You might need to educate your son extra subjects or extra curriculum. It's entirely up to you. Complementary education. When your son or daughter is learning science and technology, literature, and others, you might ask them to take the higher standard of such a subject. You ask for that. Alternative education. You don't like your children to be educated in the state education. You might take them outside for a different system. Community and climate education, where you don't use these barriers. Barriers mean the classes, the walls, the roofs of the school, and you want them to be open to the public all the time in the open area. Number 6 is vocational education, another kind of education. When your son does not want to read and write, but want to know, to learn carpentry, want to learn mechanics, and all these kind of things. Number 7 or 8, the special education which is needed by society having a special profession. Like if your society is a farming society, you have to gear all your education specification towards the industry of farming, or the industry of fishing, or the industry of hunting, or the industry of tourism. So this is something else. So education should not be made one size fits all, because the talent inside every and each individual child is different to other child. Explore the talent and explore the potential of the children. This is point number 4 when you program your New Year program. Number 5, what is the relationship between mother, family, and technology? Mother, family, and technology. Mother, family, and technology. Mother and the family are the first incubator in the society which can drive the social change and raise the public awareness. Because mother has got this kind of powerful magnetic attracting or attractive point which bring all the children together inside the family. And mothers with S at the end have got this powerful magnetic attractive power to bring families together to make society. So the one single mother inside her family with the husband, as well as the mothers in the society, they have this ability that Allah has given them. Okay, without a caring mother, without a protecting our family, we'll never have societies that can build future generation, the future for the generation to come. And without this, mother and the family will never be able to create cultures, to explore the potential of the young children, to discover their talent, to start new initiatives and build civilization. So mother and the family are the cornerstone. Look after them very well. Second question is, what is the relationship between mother, family, and technology? I said, as I said before, or I'm saying again, mother and the family are the one of the most important, and is the most important incubator of the society. Okay? So what is the role of mother and family, and what are the relationship to technology? Let us divide the life of a child into 5 stages. 5 stages. Stage 1, from age 0, from the birth, to the age of 7. Stage 2, from 7 to 15. Stage 3, from 15 to 20. Stage 4, from 20 to 30. Stage 5, from 30 onwards. Stage 0, stage 1, sorry, not 0. From 0, from birth to 7 years. Mother has to be a full-time incubator to the children. She should not work, and the government should compensate her and the family for the time she spent with the children, because she is building the future generation or the leadership of in the future. And mother at this stage, the first one, has to create a parallel system to try to complement or to compete with the technology from the very beginning, from the time the child starts to be aware of the technology of telephone communication, of iPad and others. Mother has to start from the very beginning to create the system. Maybe from the age of 3, 4, she and her husband start to create this sports program, scouting program, journeys or trips, and others visiting. Will lay down the foundation of parallel system to compete with the technology. Stage 2, from 7 to 15, mother should become a part-time worker and should be compensated for her part-time job with the children. And she should create more developed program to compete with the technology, with the negative impact of technology. And this kind of program will be more powerful than it was in the first stage. Outing, sports, scouting, gardening, social work, and others. Stage 3, from 15 to 20. Mother can work full time now. She can work full time because we have at the age of 15 a grown-up child. Forget calling them teenagers. They are young men and young women. Treat them like young men and young women. Don't ever call them teenager. It's not in our dictionary book in the good old days. Arabs used to send their children at that age to the middle of the desert for months and years to become knights, become fighters, become visionary, to do all these kind of things. So stage 3, from 15 to 20, so the mother should be working full time, and she will push the children to work or to be engaged more in social interaction with all different kind of social activity in the society, to try to compete with the technology, which is started in the second stage. This could include traveling for longer time, traveling for longer distance, and the mother and the father at this stage especially will be treating the children like brothers and sisters. not to be dictating as it was in the previous stages. Okay? And to invest more and more and more in connecting them to the outside world because they are grown up young men and young women. Fourth stage from 20 to 30. It is the first stage or the stage of stability. New job, new family, and grandchildren. So here, the father and the mother, and especially the mother, will be directing the young couples of how to bring the new generation. And they will help them in supporting the younger generation or the grandchildren to stand up on their feet and see the right way for building their own future and treat them as brothers and sisters, not as children anymore. Fifth stage is from 30 onwards. Mother and father will become encyclopedic what? Incubator. They have the encyclopedia of history, of knowledge, of habits, of culture, of good stories to tell, because they will focus on whom? Not on their sons and daughters, but on the grandchildren. So when I say encyclopedic incubator, because they have the sources of knowledge that the children at this age love to listen in the bedtime story or in a good experience. Or grandma, grandpa, tell us what have you been eating 50 years ago? What kind of work you're doing? How did you used to travel on foot from this country to this country or from this village to this village? How do you used to walk? All these kind of things will be a fairy story for the grandchildren. So this is the fifth stage, okay, that the mother and the family should play. Inside this point, what is the relationship between that and technological development or technological advancement? First of all, we have to admit that we cannot compete 100% with the advancement of technology. We have to deal with it. But we have to minimize the risk of its destructive power. Because it has building power, communicating power, but has also destructive power. We have to let the children use it as a tool, not to be used by it as tools. We have to tell the children it is a tool, not aim and objective. And it's not the only tool, there's other tools as well that they can use in the society. And we have to create for the children alternative programs to compete with technology advancement. But the parents have to understand that when they create this alternative program, they have to look at it in a competitive way, competitive and attractive way, so the children will actually be grasping it. By what? By understanding what the child need at certain age. Sometimes you can write a novel, and this is just for children. Children start from 0 to 3, from 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 10, 10 to 15. And each age group has certain requirement and understanding and philosophy of thinking. So when you create a program, create it for this different certain age group in the children. Then the parents have to understand the different culture in the society. Many cultures inside the same society, the one society, inside the one village, even inside the one family. Also, the parents have to understand the power of the advanced technology. So when they create their own alternative program, they competing with the advancement of technology. Not to let the children to look at them in a very dubious way. Number one, two, three, four. Number four is to understand what the children have been taught in the school and to complement that and support that and have this new program. And the last and not least is to understand the general culture or climate climate of the society which is being produced by the state or by being imposed by the state itself. So this is point number five, which was talking about what is the relation between mother, family, and technology. Point number six, which is very important as well. What is the relationship between educational curriculum and technology? Schools and the others are one of the incubators, one of the most important incubators inside society, which actually galvanizing the children of society together and producing. When you, as a academia, try to build this educational curriculum, we have to look at these points. Number one, which is very, very important, don't allow children to bring with them these tools to the school. They are not allowed to bring telephones to the school at all during the school days. Number two, in the curriculum, in the school educational curriculum, we have to put one class or two class every day for the children to learn something differently, like art, sculpturing, music, cookery, sports, scouting, traveling, organizing events, organizing camping, working as a group. This should be everyday activity because you want to compete with technology. Number three, every month, there should be one day which you called it the social activity day, where the school on that day only talk about social activities. And if I go back to the point before that, during the school days, we can allow the children to stay behind in the evening, have more social activity training, or during the weekends or during the public holiday, they can do these activities, as well as they can take marks on attending these activities while they are having this kind of social gatherings. Point number five is organizing competition in different speciality between different schools, between different classes, different schools in the same village, in the same town, in the same city, in the same district, in the same country, okay, and the others. Number six, helping the children to work as a group, to work as a team, and to organize things as team. But this kind of team leadership inside them. Helping the children to read, sorry, not to lead, to read. To read what? In the library inside the school, they should read about different cultures, values, different arts, folklore, different icons, role models who made an impact on the history of life and others. Also, in this curriculum inside the school, we have to allow the children to think how to become innovative and how we change them from just children into become renewer, innovator, and restorer from this age group. Last in this point, not least, is to have voluntarism as a subject in the syllabus, from the kindergarten to the university, even after that, inside your own job. And to be measured, your KPI or key performance indicator in the job should be putting this how many hours you have been volunteering during the year, and this will be also added to your marks when you're in the school or in the university. This is the relationship between the curriculum and technology. But why I'm saying all this, to let us understand that we cannot compete with the technology unless we have alternative program attract the children to minimize the addiction of technology. Number 7, what is the relationship between places of worship and society? Places of worship also as another incubator, building and raising the public awareness. And we have to direct a message, making a direct message to the people in charge of these places to complement their work and their activity with the school curriculum, social program especially. This number 1. Then to encourage young people to get married. Because if we don't have those people married, we cannot build the family. If we cannot build the family, we cannot build society. If we cannot build society, we cannot build nation. Encourage marriage and the importance of marriage and the importance of keeping the family and looking after the children and looking after the wife and the in-laws, both sides. Because this is the cornerstone of building our society. Number 3, to challenge them by telling them, well, you have the religious text. You can see it here. Okay, which is a verse from the Quran, from the Bible, from the Torah. Your role as a religious leader to change such a text into community value. And changing the community value into community product. And this community product should be serving community product. Or community product to serve the community. It's not good enough to come and rehearse the verses from the Bible, from the Torah, from the Quran, and that's it, and people cries. No. Change to moral value, change into principles, policies, and procedures, change into community projects. Okay? Change also ask them to call people to change the social work into, from the individual basis into what? Into an institutional organization. Change any initiative into civil society organization. Then to invest, asking the public to invest in endowment scheme. Because endowment scheme is one of the tools which make the journey of social life inside the society more stable. More stable. Last point in this point number 7 is to teach history. True history. Not politicized history. The history of religion. And let the people of the religion to teach it according to the authentic history, not according to the political leadership needs. To teach the icons who are accompanying the prophets and messengers of God, and let the young people in the places of worship to look up at them. This is point number 7. Point number 8, in making and creating your own program, what is the relationship between civil society organization and the society? Civil society organization is another incubator, which is raising the public awareness as well. From one side, and from the other side is also connecting. You know, connecting? the infrastructure of any society together and bonding to them together and strengthening them together. And without stronger civil society organization, stronger civil society sector, and civil liberty space for them, we will never be able to have a strong community. And our state will become fragile, then will become failing state. The only one who can do that and keep our society going is the civil society organization because it is the bonding power connecting the social infrastructure of the society. And sometimes, as another rule, not sometimes, all the time, to discover the bad relationship between government and private sector. Not only that, but they can discover the ills, the sicknesses in any society before the government organization discover it or reach there. So, so the civil society organization relationship with the society is very dynamic, very essential. Number 9, what is the relationship between government and society? Government is chosen by the public. Public is paying the salaries of the president, the prime minister, the ministers, and every senior officer. Public also can remove government, can remove ministers, can remove prime ministers, and can remove president. This is the power of the public and the power of the society. So don't ever come as a president or a prime minister and be superior to me. No, I am the one who is paying your salary. Every resource in the society, in the country, belongs to whom? Not to the political party, not to the government, not to the president, not to the king, not to the queen, not to the prince, not to the princess. It belongs to the public. It belongs to the citizens. It's not a private ownership. It's a public ownership. This is the relationship between government and society. Government officers and president are employees by the employer, which is the public. What's the relationship between the private sector and society? Without society, without citizen, without civil society organization and government, there is no private sector. Private sector come on top of this. And there should be something called corporate social responsibility, and it has to be fulfilled by every organization working in the private sector. Corporate social responsibility towards the citizens, towards civil society organization, towards the serving department of the government, and they should, this kind of private sector organization, they should observe transparency, clarity, and honesty when they deal with the public. And not only that, but the government and the civil society organization has to create or have to create watchdog to watch the performance of such organization or such private sector organization. You be like watchdog on them to discover all their bad behavior, to see if they are following the good governance standard or not, and they are actually what we call it following the social transparency or not, and to evaluate the performance of such private sector organization. Are they, the private sector, following the quality performance parameters? Are they following the points of observing the safety of the consumers? Are they fulfilling the corporate social responsibility? Are they actually measuring, which is the government and the civil society organization, measuring the impact of the corporate social responsibility on this individual, on the citizen, and on the society as well. So they have to do that. They don't leave the private sector without having this checkpoint or checking point. Number 11, in making your own program, what is the relationship between the military, security, and the society? We know very clearly that the military are responsible for protecting the borders from the outside enemies. The security is protecting the individuals from the crimes created by criminals inside the society. And both of them, as officers or generals, have been trained to do that for years and years and years. And this, for me, is a holy mission, a holy job. Don't actually, and you have to deal with that. Don't pollute it by putting your hands as a military or as a security in business, in politics, in trades, in commerce, in arts, in cinema, in drama, in marriage. It's not your job. It is not your job, and you will fail, and you have been failing in different countries. And they have been failing for the last 50, 60, 70, 80 years globally. From the far west in Latin America to the far east in China and other places. And to the Middle East, of course. Please, for God's sake, do perform your holy profession, adhere to it, and don't touch, and don't pollute, and don't disgrace your status in the society, because you are going to be a failure, because they have been trained to do that, and you have failed in different countries, and you're going to fail again and again and again. It's not your business to run a country. It's your business to protect the country from the outside enemy as well as from the criminals and stop the crime inside. My last message for you young people at the beginning of the year for your program is be careful, as a warning, to start such a year, a new year, with what? With the attitude of living inside the agony of the past, or surrounding ourselves with negative energy to inhibit our productivity and to suppress us and to demotivate us. Be careful of not starting the new year without having this vitality, optimism, positivism, because optimism is a part of belief, iman. Iman is the foundation of certainty. Certainty is the backbone of doctrine. Doctrine is the axe of life. Life is the foundation of building the future of generation to come. This building process is the supporting element of existence. Existence is a way of stability and sustainability to build life for life, to live a good life of people, or to let the people to live their own good life. إعمار الكون. Be careful of not starting your new year with this senile thinking, out of date thinking, inferiority complex, self-defeat, being depressed and demotivated. Be careful to start the new year with a non-partisan character, with a valueless identity, without humanitarian charisma. Be careful to start the new year of being hesitant of which direction you take, to be all over the place, up and down, don't know what to do, or to be emotionally disturbed and react to things emotionally. Be careful to start the new year with putting hurdles in front of you, creating barriers for you, and collecting all the challenges to suppress and oppress and demotivate you. Be careful to start the new year with lies that you can talk about, with diseases, social diseases that you can spread, and with this kind of epidemics that you can create for others. Be careful of repeating what others are saying without understanding or knowing where it's coming from, whether it's truth or wrong. Be careful to start the new year with ignorance that you have been inherited from the past, or the hypocrisy that has been taught to us by the media, or dirts that they can let us to swallow it. Be careful of all this. But we have to start our new year with determination, serenity, steadfastness, and clarity, mercy and bounty, striving, and finding ways to help people, justice, and building the journey of justice, which is very painful. Building also the story, or building also the journey of building societies. Knowing that this is your country, this is your society, this is your nation, you are staying here. Nobody can remove you and send you somewhere else. Don't ever leave it with an insight as well, clear insight, purity, and serenity as well, to protect society, to protect citizen, to protect community, to protect culture, to protect civilization, to be on the steadfastness, to look at the sky and build what you want to reach beyond the skies. Don't ever let the skies to be your limit, but make the skies to be your beginning. Be like those people which I mentioned, but don't be like the mobs, the hypocrite, the thugs. Being like the people who are building community, building renaissance, building civilization, not building corruption, destruction, and spreading illnesses. Plant development and growth to harvest happiness and joy. Spread the seeds of chastity to harvest the glamour of glaring serenity for every individual in the society. Spread generosity and be generous to the poor people. Uplift the suffering from people and respect the learned scholars and knowledgeable people in your society. Prevent and push away those dubious individuals, those mobs, those thugs, those ignorant, those bring the destructive element to the society, and there are plenty of them there in many countries. In many countries nowadays, they armed the mobs. You want me to mention? I mentioned to you. In Democratic Republic of Congo, maybe 100 armed groups. In a country like Syria, they're called Shabiha, then they have been armed. In a country like, not Syria, Sudan, they're calling Janjaweed, now they are fighting the military. Another country like Egypt and others, after the 25th of January revolution, now they become qualified individual running security organizations. Prevent those people and respect the learned scholars. Remember the generous ones and praise the pious one. Don't let those thugs and mobs to live in your society. Either you treat them or you push them. Don't let poverty or the poor people to be poor anymore or to suffer anymore. You will achieve that if they live in the shade of science, knowledge, technology, and scholarity. Please start your new year with this program. My apology for being a little bit long today because I want you to build your own program. New Year is about uh, سنة حلوة يا جميل, Happy New Year, something all these songs. Not about the cake or the lighting or the drinks in some countries they are doing it. No, no, it's not about this. It's about building a program to save the society and build the future. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again next week in another talk from heart. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.